Hello, everyone. This is a miniature Halloween themed tiny home I made for the Scooter Witch Girl. I found the Scooter Girl at Michael's Arts and Crafts store. I thought the Scooter Girl was really cute, but I wanted different colors, so I painted it. This chair is my favorite piece of the items that I bought. It measures about 2 inches tall, 1 7/8 inches wide, and the seat is about a half an inch off the ground. I really like the detail on this tombstone chair. The fireplace next to the chair is also very neat. It has lots of small details that were a little difficult to see, but they showed up better after I put on a very light coat of silver paint. The fireplace is about 3 1/4 inch tall to the top of the decorations on the top of the mantel. The bookshelf is loaded with items. It measures about 3 inches tall. The scale of the dog skeleton on the footstool seemed to work well with the other items, so I got that too. I wanted to get some other miniatures, but I saw this greenhouse that I wanted to use for a house, and I knew I would have limited space, so I just went with a few items. The greenhouse measures about 11 1/2 inches tall, 9 1/2 inches long, and 5 1/2 inches wide. It is made of metal and glass. I also bought this table and chair set for the kitchen. I found this in the fall miniature section. The orange color was nice, but would be too bright in the house, so I spray painted the set with gloss black. The curly cues on the chair legs took up too much floor space in the very tiny kitchen, so I had to cut them off. On the tabletop, I put a little skull bead, a mini pumpkin, and a cake stand. I had this ribbon that I wanted to use. I put the ribbon around the edge of the table. The cake stand is made of jewelry making pieces that are glued together. I find a lot of useful jewelry making pieces at either Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Joann. I made a floor out of thin wood and then cut some wood pieces for support of the floor. I could use a space below the floor for the battery pack for the lights. I scored the floor on the living room side for planks, and then I stained it with the Mission Oak color. Then I added the checkerboard paper to the kitchen side of the floor. I like to use either a glue stick or a double-sided tape for the paper. I sprayed the whole thing with a clear gloss to give it some protection. This checkerboard print scrapbooking paper was found at Hobby Lobby. I glued the wood pieces in the corners. I did not glue down the floor as I need to be able to access the battery pack underneath. I used this mini string of lights. These turn off automatically after 6 hours. Then they come back on the next day. I used masking tape to hold the lights where I think I might need them. I did not glue down the lights yet because I knew I'd be making adjustments on placement later on. I cut out walls and drilled holes for the lights to come through. I attached some scrapbook paper onto the walls and then glued the wall into place. These are some metal jewelry making pieces I used to make light fixtures. I inserted another living room wall which has a curtain and a spider web window above. I then placed in walls separating the kitchen and the living room. I left a space for a staircase, a pantry, and the front door in the middle section. I also attached wall sconces on the living room walls. Here are the other walls I intended to use. On the left is the kitchen and bedroom wall. The downstairs on this wall has the pantry entry on the left and the hall entry on the right. Upstairs on the left is where the stair landing is, and the right is for the bathroom. The wall in the middle of this pic is for the kitchen and the upstairs bedroom, which also has another spider web window. I ended up not using the wall on the right. I needed some appliances in the kitchen, but there was very little space in that room. So I made a combo unit based on an old one I saw online. It had a sink, a stove, oven, and refrigerator. I put wood pieces together to try and mimic that. The combo unit measures 1.5 inches tall, 2 inches wide, and 1 inch deep. I painted it gloss black and added some chrome tape for the countertop. I glued on seed beads for the knobs on the stove and oven and the sink handles. A piece of wire was used for the faucet. I had this mirror for a while and thought it would look good in the house. It has some type of gargoyle or demon or something on the top. It is marked Lemax. I probably got it from Michael's a few years back. I did have to remove the base so it would fit better in the upstairs room. I did brush over it with a light brown color to bring out the details. For the roof, I cut out the size needed out of wood and then used thin cardboard to make strips of roof tiles. I glued these down, and then I painted the roof black and brushed on some gray and light brown paint. For the stone block foundation, I used an egg carton lid because it has some texture. I painted it black first and then a light coat of gray on top. I marked and scored the rows of blocks and then highlighted the surface with white brushed lightly over the top. I made a shelf with jewelry parts, beads, and an old watch face. This will go into the kitchen area. The front door panel is made from pieces of wood, and I drilled a hole for a light fixture. The front stairs I made from wood pieces also, and then covered it with egg carton stone block pieces. The chimney was made in 2 parts so I could still open the greenhouse. It is made out of wood, and then I covered it with egg carton bricks, which I painted black. The mirror on the fireplace mantle uses one of these frames and some chrome tape to represent the mirror. Here are some more of the jewelry pieces I used to make the light fixtures. The piece on the left I used for the kitchen lights. I cut them in half so they would lay flat against the wall. I put some clear glue on the back side to seal the holes and let it dry. Then I painted it with some Suncatcher paint on the back side. The piece on the bottom was the base for the floor lamp in the living room. The filigree piece on the right was used for the front door. I painted it black and then did the same process as the kitchen lights. I sealed it with clear glue, then painted it with the Suncatcher paint. You can see the mirror on the mantel, the floor lamp, and the wall sconces in the living room. I added a vase with flowers and a picture frame to the mantel also. I made a plant pot out of this jewelry piece and added some pieces of the floral stems. And here is the finished project. In the upper right-hand corner is the very small bedroom where I put the tall mirror, and I made a futon type of bed. I like the look of the glass wall in the kitchen better than the planned wood wall. It also makes it easier to look into the house. Here's the front porch light with the filigree cover. You can see the front door on the right. These cute little frames are sold as nail charms and they measure only a ½ inch tall. A view from the kitchen into the pantry and the living room. I'm going to have to try and squeeze some accessories into the very narrow kitchen. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.